Colister here with another Namco arcade long play. Today I will be playing Toy Pop. Toy Pop is a shooter released in 1986, and most people only know this game because of its inclusion in the very first Namco Museum, Volume 1 on the Sony PlayStation. Besides that, this arcade game was a Japan-only release. Of course, now it's available on Arcade Archives on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, which is exactly what I'm playing the game on for this video. In Toy Pop, you control a living puppet named Pino, which is clearly a ripoff of another character that you definitely know. You have the option to co-op play, with the secondary player controlling a young girl in a cloak named Acha. Pino and Acha are fighting their way through a witch's castle to defeat a witch and rescue their toy friends, which have been kidnapped and are turning against them. So, let's begin, shall we? There are 44 stages in the game in total. At the start of each stage, it shows you the kinds of enemies that will appear in that stage. In the first stage, you just have toy soldiers and toy cars. In order to defeat the toy cars, you have to find a tire power-up, and then that'll replace the white bullet default weapon and allow you to destroy them. The toy soldiers can be defeated with any weapon except for the electricity. All the other enemies require a specific weapon in order to defeat them, and that does make the game difficult. Stages are completed by finding the 4 hearts in the bottles and picking them up to open the door, then going through the door in order to progress. If you defeat every single enemy, you get a nice work bonus, as you see here. In every stage, try to open every box, because every stage will have either a star or a 7 in one of the boxes, and collecting 3 of them helps a ton for every 7th stage. You'll see why. I got some stars on hand right now. Tanks can only be destroyed with the bombs. Bombs are also super useful for opening a bunch of boxes and bottles at once, though you obviously have to trade them out for weapons to defeat other enemies. Some boxes also have snacks, which can get you some bonus points as well if you pick them up. It's impossible to get a nice work bonus on every single stage if you're not playing co-op, so I'm not going to get it in every single round, just so you know. The shirt you see in this box is a clothing pickup, and in this game, you can take a couple of hits. After getting hit once, your character literally loses their clothes and are left in their undergarments, which is a humorous way to show that you've taken damage. A few select stages have a clothing in one of the boxes, and picking that up will restore your health in that manner. The balloons you see on this stage, which I've already defeated, can be a real nuisance, as they can travel over the blocks and boxes and absolutely corner you. Here come the balloons right here. I'll talk about the fork in a little bit. You need the pin in order to defeat the balloons. I just turned all of them into sweets, well, you know. In the lower left corner, you see a stopwatch with a countdown number next to it. You have 90 seconds to survive on one stock on every stage. If that runs out, the room will start to fill up with castle blocks, and you'll automatically progress to the next stage if you lose a life while that happens. This will also happen if you have the door open and all enemies are defeated. Just before you get your nice work bonus. Various power-ups will appear under a certain condition, like the fork you saw, after you move to a specific part in the room. There's the jet boots, which temporarily increase movement speed, the least useful of the 5 in my opinion by far. There's a magical plant, which makes you momentarily invincible. There's the fork, which will turn all non-boss enemies into Japanese desserts, which can be picked up for 300 points each and will disappear if they're not picked up quickly. There's the hourglass, which will stop the 90 seconds and all enemies in place for a brief moment. And there's a lamp, which will instantly open all boxes that contain weapons. I just took a hit there, as you can see. The power-ups you get, if you get one in each stage, are determined by your score, and it's pretty complicated to understand. It's along the lines of you add the sum of the digits in your current score, in the tens and hundreds places I think it is, and if it matches up with a specific one of the numbers, you get a specific power-up in accordance. Some pro players about this game know how that works. I'm not trying to buffer for any power-ups because I'm not paying attention to my score while I play. And it's hard to memorize. I just picked up a clothing item, as you can see. Some boxes also have punches. If you open the box as a punch and it punches you directly, you're immobilized for a couple of seconds, which can be dangerous. And secretly, some castle blocks can be destroyed. Like you see here. Memorizing where all of the punchers are will help you survive in later playthroughs. Alright, now you see the wizard that appears on this stage, Maho. He's immune to all weapons except for the whirlwind and the star gun. You get the star gun for collecting 3 stars and the whirlwind for collecting 3 sevens, which is why it's important to save them. You can get big points if you defeat him that way. It can also help to get nice work bonuses on some of the more difficult stages by enemy placement, if you use them really wisely. Maho appears in every 7th stage, and then every 8th stage is a bonus stage, where you collect falling apples. The order that the trees drop their apples in is also determined by your score, based on a ranking of, like, high to low with certain digits in your score. There are no score extends in Toy Pop. Rather, if you meet the amount of points required to earn an extra life, a special flag will appear in the next stage, like you see, and picking it up will get you an extra life. The special flag first appeared in Rally X, though it was particularly made iconic in Xevious, where it appeared as a secret item that would get you an extra life or bonus points if you picked it up. And it was featured in a lot of other Namco games ever since then. It's in Gaplus, Sky Kid, Genpei Tomaden, Cosmo Game the Video, lots of different other arcade games by Namco like those. Just to name some of them. The robots can only be defeated with the electricity. The electricity cannot defeat any other enemy, not even the toy soldiers, though it momentarily stuns them, which can still be useful. The last kind of non-boss enemy you'll see in the game, starting here, is the cymbal-crashing monkeys. They move quickly and will bounce randomly while shooting bullets, and can be defeated with the Ultra Wave. Which, here. There are also boxes that contain diamonds that'll alternately appear in a rotation around every vacant spot next to them. Picking them up can get you some extra bonus points as well. Because the card soldiers shoot a triple shot, usually, with their projectiles, shooting a bunch of bullets in a row towards them can help you take them out if you're facing them horizontally. Some boxes also have these grabbers that'll steal your character's clothes if they touch you. They cannot kill you if you've already lost your clothes before. Opening them like that will prevent their grabbers from continuing to appear, so just keep your distance and open them to avoid those. For those of you that played this game before in Namco Museum Volume 1, you probably noticed that the music sounds a little bit different in this version of the game. That's because in the development of the first Namco Museum on the PlayStation 1, there were some hardware limitations, at least at that specific point. And as they were localizing the games as a part of the PlayStation, there were some hardware limitations that they had to face with fixing the game so that it would work on the PlayStation system in a compilation, and some of the music and audio in the arcade games got distorted as a result. I do prefer the original arcade theme for this game. It sounds less carousel-y, if you know what I mean. Earlier, I got the magic plant, which, as you see, turns Pino or Acha invisible momentarily. It also makes them invincible, and for quite a good while, so useful power-up to get if you manage to make it appear. You can use the lightning to stun any enemy other than the robots, which it destroys. That's about the best safety tip I can give you for this specific stage. Try to beat this stage without taking a hit. It's virtually impossible. Some boxes also have mines. Another plant, wow. If a box with a mine is opened, after a few seconds it'll explode and destroy whatever gets caught in a plus-shaped radius. This will kill you even if you have clothes, so stay out of its way. If you're good, you can destroy enemies by using them. The exact bottles that the hearts can be located in can be randomly decided among the concealed bottles for playthroughs. Just memorize where all the punchers are in every stage. While this game is a little bit more forgiving than some other arcade games that I played before, there are some moments in this game that can be very difficult. Just remember that if you lose a stock, your progression will continue in terms of the enemies that are left in the stage, and your 90 seconds will also reset upon having a new stock. Pairing that up with the fact that you have one additional hit point in every stage. So, that does make the game more fair than some others, though the game is actually very difficult to beat, if possible at all, without losing any lives. Basically what I'm saying. It's also impossible to get a perfect or a nice work bonus on every single stage unless you're playing co-op. Because, like, there are some stages in the game you'll see that have balloons of any enemy as one of the enemies, and not a single one of the boxes has a pin in it. Which causes me a little anger, so... The game is both fair and unfair for some reasons. Stars and sevens will disappear after the boxes they're in are opened if they're not picked up quickly. As will the desserts that enemies are transformed into with a fork, like you saw before. Any other power-up after their boxes are opened will stay there. Here's where I'll start to use the 777, which gets you the whirlwind. The whirlwind makes you move super fast and destroy any enemies or blocks that get in your way. I used this to get a nice work bonus on the stage, and was lucky enough to get a star in the next stage with Maho to get the bonus for defeating him. Shameless self-promotion. This game's really long. They put a lot of effort into putting a lot of quality into this game, at least. Even for a Japan-only release. Until Namco Museum Volume 1. Maybe that's why they decided to put this game in their very first compilation on a home console. Even if it was the only compilation the game was ever featured in that I know. Pino and Acha, the names of the game's protagonists. Saving the fork to use it on the balloons, cause they're a bigger threat to me than the tanks are. No need to be greedy for points. This stage usually gives me some problems, so I'll go ahead and use the whirlwind. This is what it's like to get the hourglass. This is the last we'll see of Maho. And I was lucky enough to get a star instead of a 7, so I can take him on. This is the final bonus round. Though I never did pick it up in this playthrough, the lamp, like I said earlier, will instantly open every box that has a weapon in it. You may find that while there are balloons in this stage, not a one of the boxes in it has a pin. So, you can't get a nice work bonus here. You can get it in this stage. The jet boots is the least useful power-up by far. Having increased movement speed in this game is more of a hinder than a help, because it's hard to control Pino. It really is. Plus, it only lasts for just a few seconds. The magical plant lasts longer. So, kind of in a hurry here. For this stage, I would just advise getting a bomb and then progressing to the next stage. And in the final stage, you confront Magio the Witch. What you need to do here is use the blocks to avoid her rapid fire, and fire away with your own weapons to find hidden hearts throughout the arena. After you pick up all the hearts, you will have defeated her, and you'll get an epilogue followed by the leaderboard if you get a high score. She's no match for the master opponent. That's all 8 of them. Unfortunately, took a last-minute hit there. Alright, so that was my long play of Toy Pop. I managed to get over 100,000 points, which is good, since you can't really get a high score in this game. Not a game I play often, because it's really long, and some parts of the game are pretty trolly, though it definitely stands for being one of the most significant games, at least in Namco Museum Volume 1 on the PlayStation. And with the exception of Rally X Original, I played every game that was in Namco Museum Volume 1 in the singular long play forms, if you want to check those out, and plenty more. I am Colister, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next upload. Bye.